Now we're going to show how to decompose a matrix in singular values. And we'll do that through an example of image manipulation. We are going to get an image from a temple in China using the function that we imported from Scikit-Learn. And in the stock archive that we are going to fetch this image from, the title of this image is china.jpeg. Let's run this cell and we have our image. This image has 427 rows of pixels by 640 rows of pixels. And each pixel is composed of 3 values. One for the red color, another one for the green color, and another one for the blue. That's the format in which the image is stored. Now we are going to see the range of values inside the image. For that, we call the min and max methods as we did before. And we see that the values go from 0 to 255. This tells us that the image is represented using 8 bits to store the value of each color in each pixel. However, we are going to be interested in working with a different range of values. We want to work with values between 0 and 1. And to do that, we're going to divide all the values inside this image by 255, so that the highest values in the array will be squashed down to 1. Now let's copy this line of code where we checked the shape of the array, and as we expected, our values now go from 0 to 1. Now let's see what this image looks like. Here it is. Now we're going to learn how to manipulate the channels of the image. That is, the channel with the red color, the channel with the green color, and the channel with the blue color. What we are going to do is change the image so that the channels are the first dimension of the image, the first axis. And for that, we are going to use the transpose function from NumPy. We are going to apply this function to the image, and the order of the axes will be the following. First, we'll have the axis that before was in position 2, then the axis that was in position 0, and finally the axis that was in position 1. That is, what we've done is bring the axis that represents the color channels of the image to the forefront in order to operate with them. Let's see the new shape of the array, and voila! These are the dimensions of the image and these the color channels. Now let's show individually the different color channels. Let's begin by the red color. And here it is. This is the part of the image that controls the levels of red at each location. Let's do the same with the green color. Here it is. And finally, the same with the blue color. And that's it. We have our image decomposed in color channels. Now, to illustrate how single value decomposition works, we are going to decompose this image. Then, once we have decomposed our image, we'll take a small number of singular values, the top 20 or 30 singular values, and then we'll use those singular values to create a low-rank approximation to the original image. To do that, first we have to declare the number of singular values that we are going to select. In our case, it will be 30. And to achieve that, we'll call the SVD function from the linalg module of the NumPy library. And we'll apply this operation on the image. And this operation will give us 3 matrices matrix U, the singular value diagonal matrix sigma, and the right singular vector matrix Vt. Let's execute the cell, and here they are. Since we brought the color channels to the front position, what happened when we applied the singular value decomposition is that we applied this operation to the matrix of each color channel of the image. And now what we're going to do is convert the vector of singular values of each one of the channels into a diagonal matrix so that we can perform the reconstruction. And for that, we are going to use a very useful NumPy function called apply-along-axes. Apply-along-axes, what it does is choose each element or slice of a NumPy array along a specific axis, and to that element or slice, it will apply the function that we decide. In our case, we want to apply the diagflat function, and we want to apply it to the first axis of the s-vector. By applying the function to the first dimension, we make sure that we convert the vector of singular values of each color channel independently. And here it is. We have 3 matrices, one for each of the colors. And now we're going to do a low-rank approximation to the original image by multiplying these 3 matrices. We are going to use the ellipsis operator . What this operator means is that for all the dimensions until the last, select every value. And here what it means is that for all the dimensions until the second to last, select all the values. Okay, we've multiplied the decomposed matrices back into a single image. Now what we're going to do is transpose back the color channels into the last position, so that we have our image in the original form. What does this mean? When we started operating on the image, the channels were on the back, on the last dimension, and we brought them forward so that we could apply the single value decomposition. And now what we want to do is see the image again, so we have to roll the channels back to their initial position. Let's execute the cell, and it's done. And now we can use plt.imshow to visualize the image. What you can see here is a reconstruction of the original image that we built using a very small subset of the information from the original image, from a very compact representation of the original image. That is, we've decomposed the image into singular values, we kept the 30 characteristics that best describe this image, and from that subset of characteristics, we've reconstructed the image. Not bad, huh? Now let's take a look at another application of the NumPy library. We are going to plot a few trigonometric functions. For that, we are going to create a new array using the linspace method. We are going to create an array of 100 elements that go from 0 to 4 times the number pi, and on that range, we are going to plot the sine and cosine functions. To do that, we call the sin function from NumPy, taking the x range as argument. And we also call the cosh function to store the cosine function. Now let's visualize these two functions using the Seaborn library. Let's begin by plotting the sine function. And let's give this plot an appropriate title. Here it is, the sine function. Now let's do the same with the cosine function. Let's copy this cell and paste it here. And let's change the y value and also the title of the plot. Voila! And now let's plot in the same image the hyperbolic sine, cosine and tangent functions. For that, we're going to create a new X array using the linspace method. The range on which we are going to plot the functions will go from -pi until +pi. And we'll create an array of 100 elements. Now we're going to create the hyperbolic sine function by applying the sine h function from NumPy to the X range. Now let's do the same with the hyperbolic cosine. And finally the same with the hyperbolic tangent. Which, by the way, if you like machine learning, you're going to see everywhere. And now let's see the results on the plot. Let's give it a title. And here you can see the hyperbolic cosine, the hyperbolic sine, and the hyperbolic tangent.